Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are doing a recap and review of The Bachelorette season 16 episode number 4. So before we jump into this video, if you're new here, smash the subscribe button to continue to get quality content on all of our dating reality TV shows. And also, if you like this video, smash the like button and also jump into the comment section because I do engage with my subbies. Let's jump into this video. So it starts out with the guys being, disappointed about what is going on and the fact that, Claire has pretty much been MIA. And of course, they're trying to figure out where everything goes at this point, and that she hasn't really given the guys the opportunity that that they expected to have, going on the one-on-one dates. In the meantime, she is back at her villa and she's expressing in her journal pretty much how she feels about Dale, which is perfectly clear that she definitely is in love with him. It's so crazy. She don't understand why she feels the way that she do. And so Chris comes on over and have a conversation with her. And, he's kind of filling her in on the fact that the guys are not happy about her right now. And, she's saying it's hard because she has a bunch of amazing guys, but she don't know, she feels crazy. Maybe it's the universe working in her favor, because the first day that Dale stepped out of the car, she was all in, and then she talked about how she had been seeing him on social media when she was looking at the guys. Now, she claimed she didn't have any conversation with any of them, especially Dale. But he saw that I guess she kind of stalked him a little bit on social media because she really found an interest in him in regards to the fact that, for example, with Mother's Day and how, because of her mom's situation, she could connect to his situation. And she said that I guess all of that kind of built up inside of her, from her watching and seeing who he was and, how their situations are parallel. And then he asked her, I know you wanted somebody that was like your father. Do you see him as being that person? And she actually said, yes, she see a lot of things in him that reminds her of her father. So, she finding that she's having clarity, especially with everything that's going on with the quarantine. Dale is her match and is everything that she was looking for and what she wants out of a relationship and what she wants out of life, especially after everything she says she went through with Yosef. She knows exactly how she wants to be treated, and she spent her whole life looking for someone that reminds her of her father, and she definitely said that, he seems to be that guy, and she got really emotional about it. And, she don't want to waste the other guy's time by being disrespectful. And you know what? She shouldn't. I honestly think, because I've been reading on social media and a lot of the guys are not happy about, or I should say the Bachelor Nation is not happy about how the whole thing is processing. But if this is what she truly wants, she shouldn't waste the other guys' time and not being real with them. And so, she needs to be honest with them. So the guys, of course, are sitting around. They're feeling like they're being disrespected. Some of them didn't have any time with her, and they just don't know what's going on, And, it's unfortunate that they had to go through a lot for this particular season of The Bachelorette because of the, everything with the pandemic and the quarantining and being in a bubble, and so it's just a situation where, it's like they're wasting their time. So, of course, Chris comes in and let the guys know that there's no cocktail party, nor is there a rose ceremony. And in the process of it all, he says, Dale, you need to come with me. And of course, the guys is like, what the heck is going on? Some of them are hoping that he's being kicked off the show. You know, others is like, well, why do you need to talk to him for? What's that all about? You know, they're really confused about everything, you know, and they should be. Because, of course, you know, Chris can only tell them so much. They really don't know what's going on at this point. They don't know that Dale is being called over to go and meet up with Claire. And, you know, everybody is just lost in, you know, in this form of confusion. So then Chris does have a conversation with Dale to let him know that he's going to have a date night with Claire. And, you know, he seems to be pretty excited about that. So he goes off to, you know, get ready and get prepared. And one thing I will say about Dale, he is extremely reserved. He doesn't seem like an emotional, over-the-top type of guy. Whereas, of course, as we see, Claire is definitely a very emotional person. But she's excited, but there's also a little bit of hint of fear because this is all happening so fast. But, you know, she says, when you know, you know. So she gets dressed up really pretty in this red dress and, you know, gets ready to go over for her date night. And she's hoping, you know, that she's going to be able to tell Dale that she loves him. And the fact that she wants to be vulnerable with him and just put it all out on the table. And he shows up all smiles. They're all excited to see each other. And, you know, I was kind of wondering, I said, I want to see how emotional he gets. You know, is he going to actually say it in return? Because it is new for the both of them. You know, so it was an interesting scene to watch. They both look really good. I really like that red dress on her. It looks really, really pretty on her. So, you know, she put a lot out there. And they both had conversations about their parents. And they had similar hitchhiking stories, especially when Claire said that, you know, that's how their parents met. And they only known each other for 3 months. They got married and they were together for 42 years. So for a lot of people out there, even my listeners, some people can't figure out or imagine or fathom, you know, that something like this can happen. But I think because Claire's seen it, or of course not, she wasn't there when it happened, but hearing her parents' experience, that's why she truly can believe that something like this can happen. So when you've been exposed to it or you heard of it, situations like that, it is so easy to believe that something like that can happen. And then, of course, Dale expresses his story about his parents, and they did the same thing. They hitchhiked. That's how they met. And they just connected over that. They connected over, you know, the issues that's going on medically with their older parents at this point, and one of them passed away. And so they're really bonding over, I think, the emotional aspect of what they've both been going through, you know. And I find that quite interesting because, I mean, of course, we'll see some things later, and I'll talk about that. But I also wondered in this scene, what else do they connect over? Because he is a very stoic individual where she's extremely emotional. And so it was interesting to watch. But they seem that they both love each other, as they both said. So the guys are having conversations. They're like, okay, you know what? What the heck is going on? I mean, do you actually think that they could just take off together? It's too new. And listen, like I said, for people that's never been in a situation or never seen something like this, it's going to be foreign territory to them. People are going, no, that can't happen. I don't believe it. Who would do something like that? But if you are right, and I've honestly myself, I've seen situations like that up close, and they were together for decades. You know, so can something like this happen? Yeah. it involves the two people that's in it. And of course, once they jump into something like this, it has to work. But can it happen? Yes. Now, is this something that most of us would do? Probably not. But if there are people like Claire and Dale who choose to do this, I wish them the best. All I want is everybody to be happy with their choices. And if it don't work out, they also have to be accountable for the ending of it. And, hopefully, either come out it unscathed or be able to move on amicably, whatever the situation may be. But I couldn't read it. I don't know if it was the edits, because there were some scenes that kept chopping in and out while she was talking, and he just had this stone-faced look. It was weird. So I don't know if it was really edited a lot in that particular period. But when they allowed him to talk to her and how he felt, and, how present he was and how he feels, and that he's fallen in love with her, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe he does have an emotional connection, and it's all new. I don't know the time frame, within a week, 2 weeks. I'm not sure with the filming of this, but she is head over heels. This is her husband, her soulmate. She even said, my name is Claire Moss. She's all in. And my hopes is that they both are all in, and they can do this together. So they go off and take a walk together. And as they go over, there's music playing. And we have Chris and Bree from the Bachelor spinoff, Listen to Your Heart. And I haven't seen them in a long time. I do follow them on Instagram. But they have beautiful voices together. And I actually think they're still a couple, actually. So not only do they make music together, they also are in a relationship. And, the affection that I see between, Claire and Dale, it seems to be chemistry. But long term is where it's going to, be telling. And I'm going to leave the door open. I'm just going to sit back and watch and see how their romance unfold. And whatever the end result will be, it is what it will be. So they go back to her villa, and they profess love to each other, like I said. And then they decide to spend the night with each other. So they kind of got their bit of a fantasy suite. And obviously, from the way it sounds, they decided, to end the night with a little bit of romance, or, they got the freak on. So we're now at the next morning, and they definitely got the freak on. And, there were clothes everywhere. They woke up in each other's arms. She definitely said that she had a great night. And, she looks happy. He looks happy. So, again, people get to choose how they want to move around. I'm not going to judge her for her choices. She chose to sleep with him in this particular form of a fantasy suite. That's on her and Dale. They're adults. Is it something maybe somebody else would do? Maybe not. But that's also your choice too. So, anywho, they're basically reminiscing and everything. She was like, it's not supposed to be this way. And I don't know. I never knew that it could be this way. She's just gushing over, Dale after they professed love to each other. They had the night where they're being serenaded by Chris and Bree. And it's time for him to go. And, she's like, what are you going to say when you get back? And he was like, I don't know. I really haven't thought about it. And she was like, what do you mean you haven't thought about it? What do we do next? Dale, you need to think about that. Because, there's some stuff coming up, as we'll see, that you got to make some decisions about. And she's standing in the door like she's seeing him go off. And, You know, they've had a good night. On the flip side, however, the guys are not happy. They haven't seen or heard from Dale or Claire in about 18 hours. And, it's like, look, if you're in the Dale, why are we here? Why waste my time? Make your choice and move on. It's not fair to us. I felt when, and I think one of the guys was saying that he felt that when he was on a one-on-one with her, that she wasn't there. And that is the absolute truth, So we're back with Chris and Claire as they talk about last night. And, Chris is like, well, how was last night? And she was like, oh, it was great. And especially after the cameras left, it was definitely great. And she's just smiling. She's just happy. And, he's like, well, you know what? What do you want to do next? The next thing is the proposal. You finished everything else. Is that what you want to do? And she says she could see herself spending the rest of her life with him. And again, that's her choice. Would that be something that I myself would do? Probably not. But it's her choice to make. And, Chris is like, okay, well, I'm here for it. I'll help facilitate whatever you need to have done. If you want the proposal and you want to end this journey, your journey has come to an end. Do the final rose ceremony. Hopefully he proposes and you're done. And she's okay with that. She's excited. He's like, wow, I'm shocked. I mean, you could look in, Chris's face and tell that he's like, okay, this is something that has never happened in our franchise. What do we do? But here's the thing. I'm glad that production was able to clean this up so we can, get her situated and move on to the next phase of this thing. So she realizes that she has to have a conversation with the guys and let them know what she's going to do. And so they are not happy. She decides to let them know that, I think the world of you guys. You're a great group of guys, and she was hesitant because she knew that them guys were probably going to be upset with her seriously. But, she says she came here ready and open and willing to find the love of my life. And she says she's found it. And that she decided to move on and leave the show with Dale. And the faces in that room was priceless. I mean, you can tell that they were definitely, I want to say, pissed off. And they should be, I guess, because granted, they asked for an apology. It was like, look, you need to give us an apology. And she was like, why do I have to apologize? I'm not apologizing for love. Claire, you need to apologize for the fact that even throughout the process, part of that, you the disappearing acts, different things like that, you probably should have cleaned it up a lot sooner. Now, I will give her props for not dragging this out for 10 weeks or whatever it is, and lead all of the guys on knowing clearly that she was going to end up with Dale. So I'll give her props for ending it. But do you owe them an apology? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, the guys, whether they accepted it, some of them were pissed, some of them were heartbroken, and some of them was like, you know what, I'm over it. You and Dale can just go right off in the sunset. And one of the guys asked her, did you and Dale have contact before the show? And she was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Guys, I'm not going to say one way whether I think she did, because I wasn't there. I just hope she's being truthful. And if she hasn't, it'll come out. But what difference would it make if they're still together and they moved on with their lives? Only thing is that she wasn't honest with the show. And of course, if she lied to the guys. So, but she gives everybody a hug goodbye, letting them know, how she wished them the best and that she wants them to find love like she did. Because honestly, that's what they came there for. They went through, C-19 testing, being in a bubble, all of that, and it was a struggle for all of them. So yeah, I mean, they deserve to at least find something if they don't even make it through the entire process. What interests me is how upset she was, and I think she was upset pretty much because she realized she hurt those guys. But at the same time, she wanted to be true to herself when it comes to making a choice with being with Dale. And I mean, honestly, that's a tough position to be in. When you know what you want, but then you got all these other options that you're not interested in, but at the same time, you want to be respectful. And the guys was like, dang, she didn't even give everybody an opportunity. Who's to say that she wouldn't have fell for somebody else? Who's to say she would have? We would never know. But, I just wish the best for her. But before she goes off into the sunset, we have Chris here, calling Neil Lane, to order a ring. And he was like, you know what? This journey is over. And he's like, already? You need a ring tonight? And yes, Chris says, we need a ring tonight. There's a proposal that's going to happen. And so he's shocked, and so, Dale is sitting off to the side waiting for himself. And we have Chris stop by to have a conversation with him about the proposal. So he tells Dale, you have pretty much completed the process. You and Claire decided that you love each other and you want to move forward. So the next thing is a proposal. Are you ready to do that? And with editing, they want to make it look like, we'll never know because number one, he's already a stoic individual. And then on the flip side, when you add the editing to kind of slow down the scenes to make it look like hesitation, I don't know where his head was in that point. But he came out and said, yeah, I would want to take this further and see where our journey go. And yeah, I will, I could see myself being with her and marrying her. And the guys are still, they're like, what the heck? I was going to say something else, but this is YouTube. But, the guys are like, what the heck? I mean, did we just waste our time? So we have Claire, who is reeling over the fact that, oh my God, is he going to propose? Because that's the other part of this. Even though she's standing at the end of the red carpet with the final rose, it's his choice to show up and make a proposal. And so, they have Chris ask him, are you sure you're ready for this? And at the same time, Claire is wondering, I put all this pressure on him. What if he says no? I mean, she tells Chris, I'm used to dealing with the guys that every time I put my heart out there, they run away. I'm so emotional. I let them know how I feel. They run away. Is this going to be a situation of the past? It's just coming to fruition again. And she was like, you know what? I'm just going to have to go for it. And listen, life is short. If you feel a certain conviction within yourself that there's something that you really have to do, it's up to you to explore that. I mean, do you want to live life with regrets? I shoulda, coulda, woulda? Or do you want to say, you know what, I'm going to take this chance and see what happens? I mean, she's 39 years old. She's almost 40. I'm in my 40s. I know what that's like to say, you know what, I don't have time to play with people. I know what I want. I'm going to make a choice. I'm going to move on. So she gets real dolled up in this dress. It is absolutely gorgeous and white with the bling around the neck. And she's up there with Chris. And Chris is like, "You ready? This is the final rose ceremony. We'll see if he shows up to propose, you know." And so Chris walks away, to go and check on Dale to see if he's going to be there. And then they made this whole second clip of Chris coming back to say, "I got something to talk to you about." Like building drama. And it was only giving her, best wishes and "I want to thank you." And I'm like, okay, production, really? I mean, I coming off of watching Married at Sight with all of the things that they hyped for production in the finale last week, this doesn't surprise me with this miniature finale with the Bachelorette and Clare season. But sure enough, everything was fine. It was just Chris, like I said, giving her well wishes. She has the rose, and they express love for each other. And, you that one person that have my back, and you're so special. And every single day, he gave his speech. Every single day, I want to do everything to make you happy. I want to show up for you each and every day. That's what she told him. They want nothing more than to keep moving forward and to be there for each other. And, how he was saying how his mom really loved her, and that they need to love each other unconditionally, and they're appreciative of each other, and the best is yet to come. And, of course, he's saying his speech, and I'm like, yep, here it comes. And then at that moment, he gets on one knee and he proposes to Claire and said, "Will you marry me?" And she was like, "Oh, absolutely." It wasn't even a hesitation. She was excited. She said, "I've been waiting for this moment for years." That ring is absolutely gorgeous. You talking about a rock. And what was so funny is Dale started to get up without putting it on her finger. And she was like, "Whoa, no. Stay down there and put this ring on my finger." It was so funny. But that ring is absolutely beautiful. I mean, man, that's a nice rock. So he did put it on her finger. They hugged and they kissed and they're so happy. And he's happy, she's happy. So, honestly, like I said, I wish the best for these two. It's been a crazy 4 episodes with Claire and Dale and the guys. I just hope that they make each other happy. And stay tuned to the end, because I will talk about some up-to-date things as of last week with regards to Claire and Dale. So, like I said, wish them the best. I think he's 32, 33, and she's 39. And I've seen some comments, "Oh, I think he's too young for her." Sometimes age is only a number, and it depends on your connection with the person. But I just hope that everything works out in her favor, and we'll see more of them. We'll see some of them next week. She's on GMA tomorrow, so go check that out as well. But we're not done yet. After they sail off into the sunset and Dale picks her up and carry her off the bubble, somebody else is coming to take her place. But I thought that was cute, the way Dale carried his soon-to-be bride, as they are engaged, off into the sunset. So now, the guys are still having conversation. I don't believe he could, that she could go off with Dale. It's just too soon. It's too soon. She don't know this man. Why is she doing this? It doesn't make any sense. And you know what? I will say, for a lot of people, it wouldn't. because most people, the normal timeline of dating is taking some time, getting to know each other. It's a process. And I mean, even in this particular process, which I think is about 2 to 3 months, when you go through the 30 guys, 2 to 3 months is a short amount of time too. You know, so for the guys to be saying, oh my God, this is too soon. Well, I mean, for you guys to be with somebody in 2 to 3 months to figure out if this is going to be your wife, or, you know, or on The Bachelor, if this is going to be your husband, that's a short amount of time. So it works either way. So Chris comes in to let everybody know that Dale did propose and that they are now engaged. And everybody is like floored. Some guys are disappointed. And I think it was Jason that went on that date in the mountains with her and really opened up himself to her. And then, of course, she takes off with Dale. So, you know, he's definitely feeling some kind of way. And so it's unfortunate. And he's really got Clare on the brain. But they have options. And, you know, Chris told him, you know, hey, the journey's not over. If you want to stick around, we're getting a new Bachelorette. And so the guys decided to stick around. I don't think no one of the 16 remaining guys left. So, you know, and one of the guys, which is Jason, they thought he was going to take off, but he ended up there. I will tell you as a little tip, I won't say who, but for the oncoming Bachelorette, which we all know is Tayshia from Colton's season, who was also on the Bachelor in Paradise with JPJ, because she took off with him, and obviously that didn't work out. She's now the new Bachelorette since replacing Clare. And so the question is, are they going to be receptive to her? A couple of the guys still have Clare on the brain. You know, she's definitely excited. The girl looks absolutely gorgeous in that dress. But there is one of the guys, because I kind of got a spoiler from someone that is in that room who is going to propose. I won't say who, so stay tuned. So this will be continued. And of course, we have our new Bachelorette, Tayshia Adams, who will meet the guys next week. But they did leave us with some clips of Dale and Clare as they are now back home outside of the bubble. And I think they said they've been outside of the bubble for about 4 days now. And they're just having a good time cooking and working out together and doing fun stuff. And they look like they're having a good time, especially without the cameras really being around. And they're just really enjoying themselves. So far, so good. And he's smiling for a change because, like I said, he looks so stoic. And excuse all the credits because, you know, of course, those particular scenes was at the end of the show. But I at least wanted to show you guys that so you can actually see it and we can talk about it. But I thought this was so cute. Hopefully, like I said, it worked out. Now, what I was talking about earlier, she was seen last week shopping at Target. And she's still wearing that big giant wedding ring. So they are still engaged. And that's 6 months ago. So we'll see. All right, let's do our post notification shout out. Comment down in the section below and I'll shout you out. The first one goes to Vicky McGraw. Thank you so much for engaging in the channel. I really appreciate it. Lois Case, thank you so much and continue to watch, and I'm glad you enjoy the content. And last but not least, Roxanne Richardson, thank you as well. So again, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, smash that like button, turn on the notifications, and we will see you next week.